How about the problems from YouTube? Do you see them self-regulating themselves back into acceptance?
Well, YouTube is controlled by Google. That's another example just of how huge Google is, and arguably YouTube should be spun off. That said, what YouTube is trying to do increasingly is censor what they call hate speech. They don't have clear and defined metrics for that, and the metrics are not enforced across the board. That's a Louis Farrakhan is still welcome on YouTube, but some people who are more on the right are not, and this is obviously, again, an example of social media companies having lawyers write terms of service, but then only enforcing them selectively against people whose politics they don't like. That's discrimination.
What about the YouTube banning based on topic of the views that they don't like, and that goes beyond broader than just simple hate speech?
So it's, again, a ridiculous situation. For example, the recent hate speech crackdown engulfed videos that featured Hitler that were historical videos. The problem is when you have any kind of automatic situation, that's, for example, algorithms that just automatically kill every video on a certain topic, that's obviously fundamentally unfair because it just takes out everything. Meanwhile, content moderation is its own very challenging area. It's often outsourced to third world countries or to people who are making minimum wage under really terrible working conditions.
Maybe places like India or Indonesia?
India, the Philippines, Indonesia, and actually places in the United States where people are earning maybe $6 an hour looking through stuff that is very ugly and traumatizing. And again, the ideal solution is to actually have freedom of speech instead of controlling everything, because you can't control everything. There's too much coming on. YouTube, I believe, uploads something like 300 hours of video a minute. Nobody can keep up with that. Nobody.
If people want to follow you, where can they find more of your writings or curating?
Well, I'm a showman journalism fellow at the David Horowitz Freedom Center. My work is available at Front Page Mag. I also have my own blog, Salt and Condition. If you just Google Daniel Greenfield, I will come up, or a pediatrician from Connecticut, and he's not me, so that simplifies things a lot.
Have you noticed any demoting of your in search?
Absolutely, definitely. Google is a pretty bad offender. There are times when people who are attacking me will actually rank ahead of me. YouTube has its own problems, I've mentioned that. Twitter and Facebook, I think I'm pretty much shadow banned on Twitter. Most people can't really even see my material, so that's part of the current life of being a conservative who's trying to function in an industry whose content is dependent on a pipeline run by leftists.
Is this something that the Republican administration or the Republican establishment will take on, even through the Senate, for instance?
I would certainly hope so. Again, as I mentioned, there is a Senate proposal involving the CDA by Senator Josh Hawley, which will actually make CDA protections contingent on transparent algorithms. I think that's a very good step, though I am not on board with everything in that proposal. There have been a variety of approaches. I still think antitrust action is the very best approach.